MulltiVersus is not your average fighting game, because it's actually a live service experience. Being free to play in this game's case means that it's free to access their weekly rotation of characters, plus Shaggy, once you've beaten the tutorial, which, in all fairness, is pretty decent. It's the best part of the game, but it's the only good part of the game. It explains the mechanics, allows you to unlock a new character, and that's the last nice thing the game does for you. After this point, you're free to go on about your day. League challenges, and weekly challenges, and your event challenges. Oh my gosh, so many challenges, I'll be playing all day, right? You only get to play a few hours, actually. It does not take very much at all. Okay, well, there are the rifts. Okay, that's new. Yeah, there are rifts. They all suck. They're mindlessly simple, excruciatingly long, and incredibly under-rewarding. You get gems that make you better at the rifts only. It's worthless. The only real purpose they will serve in the long term is as challenge fodder, which will actually decrease the amount of time you spend fighting real players. I don't know what the devs were thinking. They must have imagined that players would log on like this. Come on, new week of MulltiVersus, I gotta get in there. Shark Week! Shark Week! Oh! Shark Week! Okay, fine, you say. The game is designed in a way to pull people in. So what? How you spend your time is up to you. This is, of course, an undeniable truth of video games. You control the buttons you press. But the question becomes, how many players can push through the aggressively bad experience to make their own fun? If the game is fun, people will play it, right? Wrong. Fighting games need to be fun as well as being intrinsically motivating, or the player is doomed to lose interest. MulltiVersus is perhaps the least intrinsically motivating fighting game that I have ever seen, as every single page in the game is built to give you rewards. The reward is supposed to be that you lose less and less, but in this game, the reward is a new gem or skin. The majority of players are not playing this game for the right reasons. And even if you decide to look past all of the issues with the game's menus and structure, and manage to focus purely on gameplay, it is unmistakably worse than the beta. The game is laggy enough that it becomes annoying, especially because lag in this game means that your opponent is now a teleporting god that can kill you by touching you, rather than just slowing down like you may be used to from Smash. Disconnections and crashes happen frequently enough that you expect 1 or 2 per session, and you will get very used to seeing this bad boy. Which is not the end of the world by any means, but does add friction to the experience. On top of all that come the issues with team-based games in general. The biggest one in this game's case being that your teammate is not always ready to play for some reason. I suspect that this happens because of challenges like play 5 2v2 games or play as a detective 10 times, both of which incentivize the player to simply play, not win. This, combined with the fact that you are not removed from a game for being inactive, means that players can ready up for a 2v2 before tabbing back into their league match. The problem is pervasive enough that it sparked a discussion, some of which may be correct, as they say players may not be getting disconnected. However, I suspect that the problem really exists because of the challenges. But it could be fixed, as winning does seem to provide more XP, so the incentive is there to win. This may be for naught, as everyone who has eyes can agree that the Battle Pass and probably 99% of the cosmetics in this game are absolute trash and not worth anyone's money or attention. Which should go to show that these games, and this one in particular, are designed to exploit addiction more than fun. Most players feel the need to simply finish their challenges. They could take or leave the rewards. At the time of writing, their exploitation of addiction was simply an idea that I had and a worry of mine. I saw that the game could go down that route, and I indeed was proven right. As of right now, there are challenges which require the player to purchase in-game skins in order to finish them, such as this Arya challenge, and I believe there are a few others. This is absolutely disgusting. There's no way for the player to get their sense of accomplishment unless they spend money now. I don't think it could be any more clear. They don't want you to have fun, they want you to spend money in order to have fun. The full game does not feel worse simply because they slowed it down, but because they broke what used to work. Characters like Finn and Taz have moves and combos that outright no longer work due to the game's new engine. It feels like the biggest issues come when you get a hit, perhaps off stage, as now the opponent is sent so far and stunned for so little time that moves which are designed to have follow-ups no longer have follow-ups. Consider Finn's forward air, his down smash, or Taz's nair into side B. These combos are not game-breaking, they're fundamental parts of the character's game plan which are now completely absent. Think about how many times you would have a character off stage as Finn and you could mix them up with down smash or down air, and now you only have down air. The lack of options is why all games start to feel the same. You will be getting most of your kills with the same 2 or 3 moves, and if you're lucky or wealthy, you'll have multiple combo routes. What we mean by wealthy here is that, in this game's case, the strongest characters in the game have been added since launch. One of which you only had to log in twice, but Joker cost double what the other characters did, and he is one of the strongest characters, at least according to win rate, along with Shaggy, Banana Guard, and a few others. Now Shaggy has to stay a top tier because he is the free character they give you. He will not be getting any worse. And I imagine that every character they add from this point forward will be as strong or stronger than these characters. So if you think that DLC privilege was a problem in paid fighting games, you should be terrified of how strong they will be in a free-to-play fighting game. Their goal is to get you to spend money, way more than the typical fighting game, and your goal is to avoid spending as much money as possible. That means that in this game's case, you can either get your ass kicked for weeks while you grind out the gems to get the new guy, or you can spend $20 and have him right away. Okay, so what, you say? The game is fun if you play at top tier. I don't know, would you say that watching your opponent side B 30 times in a row and it working half the time is fun? Get better, you say, just with punish. In my opinion, this is where the game truly fails as a fighting game and where the beta shined. In their genius effort to slow the game down, they ruined moves, combos, and added the dodge meter. Great, people thought. The game will be less of a mash-off now. No, not really. The air dodge mechanic is actually worse now because every single character's air dodge is now their best escape option bar none. And every air dodge can be baited out, meaning that it is reliant on air dodges to get your combo started, and you're reliant on air dodges to get out of combos. It's become the air dodge game. Dodging also leads into a lagless move, meaning that dodging has never been more powerful in MulltiVersus. If playing well in the beta felt like being an assassin in a barroom brawl, then playing well in the full game feels like being the biggest guy in the bar. Pour one out for all the lost opportunities here, guys. Because to be honest, it would have been sick to be Pennywise versus Johnny Bravo, but in all honesty, it's even sicker to play a good game like Rivals 2 or the new Smash. And to even go back to the old one, I mean, what the hey. The old game's not so bad. It's better than this. This game's actively trying to steal your money. It wants you to buy a skin to do a challenge. We don't deserve it. We just don't. 0 out of 10.